Christel. How are you doing?
I'm fine, and you?
Are you still enjoying living in Donetsk?
Still living in Donetsk since more than 3 years. Yeah, still living, still working here as journalist.
So what are you doing nowadays?
I'm doing less report on the field because I'm now concentrate more on the MH17 case. I want to produce a whole case, a complete case about the MH17 crash. And so it's taking me a lot of time, so of course I had to make a choice, either continue to go do reports on the field or concentrate on the MH17. We went to Shezhnoye, I went also to Shezhnoye, Petropavlovka, all these places, discussed with people. I still have some places to visit and I hope people to interview. I think it will be more difficult now after the kidnapping of Vladimir Tsemakh. People are afraid, of course, to speak after what happened, and we can understand them, of course. So it will be more difficult now to get testimonies in front of camera from people.
It's a shame, of course. But, so you have seen the crash site. How does it look like nowadays? Is it true that there are still, like, pieces of the aircraft laying around?
There are still pieces of the aircraft. We discovered still some which were stored by local people who found them in their fields or near it in some little forest area. So there are still pieces which are found. They were delivered to the mayor of the village, but...
And as I understand, Holland wasn't too eager to collect all the parts and to use them for investigation.
And they have not used all of them to put on the layout of the plane. The JIT still argue that it's very dangerous to come to the crash site to justify that they don't come to pick up everything. So it's just amazing. I mean, it's a complete lie.
Because it's not even in the front line, right? There is no shooting going around.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Since 2015, this area is perfectly safe. So there is absolutely no justification not to come and pick up everything. Even in the previous years, Patrick Lancaster was still finding little bones which belong to victims. So it's really a shame. They didn't clean properly, they didn't pick up everything, and they pretend to do an investigation with, reconstructing even less than half of the cockpit. What it is. It's really a shame.
And you're making very good progress with your Russian, as I know.
No,
so that might help you a lot with your investigation and everything.
Yeah. Of course, it helps. Now I can do interviews without help of translator or interpreter. So yeah, it helps me a lot.
So what's about the current situation in Donetsk? Well, now, as probably many people already know, there's intense shelling everywhere since Zelensky came to power. And recently there were also 3 occasions that journalists were getting under fire.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about it?
That's unfortunately what I expected. I really thought that Zelensky would not change anything to the situation after Poroshenko, because I perfectly understand that it's not them who are really ruling the country. It's other people who are deciding what should be the situation. After the visit of Zelensky on the contact line in Donbass, the situation really dramatically deteriorated. We see now an increase in shellings, in the number of ammunitions which are shelled, the caliber which increases too, and of course the number of destructions and victims, particularly among civilians. So it's really a shame what we see currently on the front line. They did the disengagement of forces in Stanitsa Luganskaya in LPR, but OSCE already saw that some Ukrainian soldiers entered into the disengagement area, thus violating the disengagement. So it's just the promises of peace of Zelensky is just political blah blah, just political promises. And it's not worthy the paper on which it was printed in the media.
you see in French media a little bit more objectivity nowadays about what's happening here in Donbass, or is it still the same?
It's still the same. They still really follow the NATO line, which is pro-Kiev. I see regularly French media just doing like translations of the propaganda from Kiev. It's the same, they check nothing, they verify nothing, and they publish it as it is. And it's really amazing. It's really amazing. All the big media, they are just publishing what Kiev is publishing.
Let's hope the situation will change one day, and hopefully soon.
For that, I think France should retake its sovereignty, thus exiting from European Union, from NATO, and so it implies a complete change of politics in France, and I think also a change of constitution and so on, because currently the media do exactly what the government wants. I mean, there is all the media which are not speaking what the French government wants, like Russia Today or Sputnik, they are ostracized, they are pointed as disinformation, as propagandists, not even journalists, they are discriminated.
And at the same time, there are no obstacles for foreign journalists to come here to Donetsk if they wish to do so.
Yeah, of course, of course. I mean, there are regularly foreign journalists. I accompanied some in the last month without any problem. So it's like in the situation in Crimea, where like the Foreign Office asked Russia to let an OSCE mission or UN mission to come to assess the situation in Crimea, and Russia said, but access to Crimea is open. If you want to come, you come. You don't need to ask, you know. It's like, why asking? It's open. Welcome, come and see what's happening. And so here it's the same. You can come and see the situation by yourself. But yeah, the situation on the front line is deteriorating, and the problem is that all the mainstream Western media don't speak about that and don't tell that it's Ukrainian army which is mainly violating the Minsk agreements. So there's still a need for alternative journalists, independent journalists like you and me, unfortunately. So we will continue our job.